Dear friends of the Tom Photo channel, I've made a video on how to buy a used camera. The link is below. In that video, I didn't talk much about how to choose the right camera. So let's do it now. On one hand, you have your smartphone that seems like a camera. These cameras are not great, but they are improving. The real cameras are getting smaller and adopting features not related to photography, such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and various software-related bells and whistles. You might ask if the two will meet halfway. For casual holiday memory recorders, I think they will. But for photo enthusiasts and pros, they never will, for one major reason. The small phones cannot start using real optics because there's no room for it. Large lens is not just fancy, but it offers optical qualities, low light capabilities, and bokeh, to name just a few aspects that a typical phone is miles away from matching. And I cannot imagine how they could possibly put a large image sensor inside a small phone to offer large pixel area and high quality pixels with minimal crosstalk. Phone cameras do have one advantage: they are always on you. This means it's much more likely to be your phone than the camera that catches something truly special. This leads me to my number one suggestion: small camera size. I've owned quite a few cameras of different size. The pattern I see regarding the size and usage is dramatic. The smaller the camera, the better my photography. I take the larger cameras out for specific photo trips only. These are the moments when I do nothing but photography. This happens only when I have lots of time, and this comes along less and less often. With my large camera, I basically want something exciting to happen at a certain time and location. Since these things don't happen on demand, I end up taking nice, well thought out photos of normal things that everyone has seen countless of times. On the other hand, I always carry my tiniest cameras with me all the time, even when I only walk from parking lot to the office that day, because who knows what I might see on my way to work or from the office window. Talking about the size leads us naturally to DSLR versus hybrid cameras. Most slightly older photographers grew up with SLRs and DSLRs, and these machines have become synonymous with real photography. We like the burst speed and bright viewfinders of these cameras, and we enjoy the availability of affordable high-quality lenses for them. Letting go of DSLR has been a struggle for us. It's like giving up on your favorite food. There might be other food out there even more enjoyable than our current favorite, but testing and tasting all these new offerings makes us uneasy and the task seems like work. At the same time, we feel time pressing on us as the DSLR era is coming to an end. After all this, you think I'll suggest to steer clear of the large DSLRs and opt for smaller hybrids? No, now might be the best time to get these capable cameras for a great price and enjoy their stunning photo quality. Their viewfinders are still better and they're still more responsive than majority of the hybrid cameras. This is not going to stay like this for long though, but I really recommend a DSLR that you could find for a great price as a pure enthusiast photography tool. Hybrids are expensive, and you'll be more reluctant to buy those modern expensive lenses for them. Since DSLR is how it started for us, I think this chapter is well worth walking through. But if you're really young and have never held a DSLR in your hands, and you don't miss amazing optical viewfinders because you've been using your phone, you will have no problem going to the hybrid cameras right away. You may prefer to look at the screen anyway, and the hybrid viewfinders are rapidly improving too. If your mom and dad were not amateur photographers, they're not going to give you a bag full of older camera lenses, so you can start out fresh. In that case, maybe just go to hybrid immediately, because they will eventually replace DSLR. Come to think of it, they'll probably change their name too. People will soon forget what hybrid means. They will not know that it initially referred to a cross between point and shoot and DSLR. And this introduces the point and shoot cameras for us. These used to be a great alternative during the times of film SLR. They were cameras for those who didn't much care about how photography worked under the hood. This concept carried over to the digital era with much success too, but was eventually killed by the smartphone. I do admit that the current smartphones can compete with a simple point and shoot, but there has been a side branch that grew out of point and shoot cameras that I consider very viable for the future. This is the advanced point and shoot camera that offers a viewfinder and controls very similar to DSLR or modern hybrid cameras, but the lens is not interchangeable. I think this is a great concept for someone who wants to do real photography but doesn't care about choosing and replacing lenses. I really like the idea, and one of my favorite cameras in fact is Fujifilm X10 that I've been showing you as a background here. The lens will not come off, but it is amazingly capable zoom lens with killer macro functions. What's not to like? Throw in top-of-the-line construction quality and leather case, and this might be the best option of all to catch those special moments. I reviewed this camera, the link is below, and the success of that video made me decide to start running a photography channel in the first place. So I'm not giving you straight suggestions that this is the camera you should get. I cannot, because all of you will have different expectations and habits when it comes to photography. I'm primarily a Fuji and Nikon user. Does this mean I recommend those brands over the others? No, I cannot say that because all cater to different needs and they are great in their own ways. If I could choose only one brand and one camera, that would probably be some small and capable Fuji. But this is just me. For me, Fuji colors are special and their handling is what I like, but then again you might be different. Fuji's styling works for me, and their lenses are out of this world great, but they are expensive. Traditionally, there's been a standoff between Canon and Nikon, the two great ones. Canon has more followers, but Nikon is said to be the only brand NASA trusts. I'm not sure about all that, but I'm quite sure that the discussion about which one is better will not lead us very far. People have emotional ties to their brand, and this is often not backed up by rational arguments. I initially got into Nikon for no good reason, and so I stuck with it. But while Nikon and Canon are fighting it out, there have been strong competitors from behind that may now be moving at a faster pace and take a lead, if they haven't already. With coming of the hybrid cameras, most notably Sony is the one to look out for and maybe look up to. They are making sensors for several of their competing manufacturers. Their hybrid cameras tend to be preferred by the new generation of photographers and video makers. Then there's Panasonic, Olympus, Pentax and others, and all had to become really good to stay alive in the fierce competition. I think I'd recommend you to get any camera from one of the major manufacturers. Choose based on how the camera feels in your hand and whether or not it invites you to go shooting. If you get an interchangeable lens camera, remember that it's the lens that determines your photo quality more than the camera body, most of the time. And most importantly of all, it's you, the person behind the camera, who can make it work regardless of the camera. Technology is too overemphasized. Photography is a creative art. You make the camera work right. The camera does not make you work right. Start from inside out. Start observing, start seeing, and then use your camera only as a tool to capture what you already had without the camera. This is my top recommendation. But who knows, maybe you'll become a traditional film photographer. This is far from being dead and offers a feel and resolution that other cameras cannot match. Keep all these options open. Maybe one day you decide to try out the full frame or even a medium format camera. However, these are all advanced specialized directions. I can quite confidently recommend you to avoid these directions as your first steps in serious photography. Try not to go along with the race for megapixels or all kinds of new flashy advanced features. Megapixels literally kill your image if they are too many, because the pixel quality will go down. The advanced features could be bells and whistles you'll never care about. They will only cost you money and add unnecessary complexity. What you really need is your ISO, shutter speed, f-stop, and a tripod. Maybe a flash as well. Maybe a filter or two. Start out simple and see where the road takes you before you set anything in stone. Thank you so much for listening to me talk here. If you decide to subscribe to my channel and leave a like under the video, that would make me happy. I wish you great photography, and I hope to discuss all of it with you on this channel. Thanks and goodbye.